Howdy there, YouTube. Treetop Piper coming at you with a few little changes or a few little tidbits of info. Or tidbits of info about my day. God dang it, right now I've got my Parker Super Bark Briar Sitter loaded up with some Dunhill Navy Flake, or Navy Roll. Finishing it up. I started smoking it on my way home from the mall. I went up and bought cha-cha! A new Apple Watch. Series 3. With, I can make phone calls with it. I'm going to get it set up to my, I guess, I'm going to get it set up to my cell phone account so it'll have data. So I can leave my phone at home, drive across the country, and not even need my phone to receive calls and make calls and texts. I can leave my phone at home and go do tree work in the top of a tree and still make phone calls and text people and stay in touch with no phone. I'm absolutely loving it. I really am. I'm absolutely loving it. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. I'm going to do a review of it once I kind of understand it a little better. I just literally got it a couple of hours ago. What we are here for today, this particular video, is a first impression of what? Bridge Old Brown Flake. This is a new one, guys. This is one that I've never seen. I don't think many people have. It says Bridge Old Brown Flake. Pipe tobacco many years back, our old recipe for brown flake was always packed loose and slightly broken open. So this is like their brown flake. Or this is their old recipe for brown flake. So anyway, let's go ahead and open her up and see what she's got inside. White. Of course. It is new. This is brand new. I see. It's exactly like BK Flake. It's brown flake, but in the BK Flake presentation. Yeah, it's a broken flake. It's not, I can already see crystals on it. See, that's the nice thing about Germain's is it's all properly aged. Hang on, let me wipe my nose and take a whiff. Reminds me, I'm getting a little barnyard, little hay, little sweet, almost like candy chocolate, maybe candied, some kind of candied something. Smells really, really good. It smells way better than the brown flake tins I've opened. It smells so good you could eat it. And there's all sorts of different colors right there. Look at that. This looks like a really good blend. 1 second. My drying paper slipped under the table. I had to grab it with my foot. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get some of this broken out here real quick. And see, yeah, it's definitely a broken flake. It's quite loose. I mean, it's not, you know, you can just grab a few pieces and pull them right out, and you got some dark stuff like that, and then you got some bright stuff like that. Sorry. Just looks lovely. I'm really digging the presentation. I actually also I smoked another bowl of the BK Flake. Outstanding tobacco. Outstanding. I mean, just wonderfully complex. Just an outstanding tobacco to smoke on. Excuse me, not wonderfully complex, but there's some complexity there, and it's just a tasty, tasty, tasty blend. There's not much more else to be said. But wow, jeez. This is crazy. I mean, you know, to get a tin, open it up, and there be, you know, crystals all, you know, all over some parts of the flake, but it just looks wonderful. You've got a little bit of brown on the wax paper there, and on the bottom too a little bit, but just a damn good looking almost broken flake / ready rub. Smells great too. Just has a nice sweet like a sweet barnyard smell, sweet hay smell. It smells delicious. It smells absolutely delicious. But I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes because I think it is just a tad wet. Let this dry for a few minutes, and I'm going to come back and give you. And I'm going to pack it up, do the char light, get it going, and then come back and give you guys some thoughts. Just got this bad boy sparked up. And right off the bat, it's awesome. Getting a sweet kind of like a sweet barnyard flavor, but it's more of a high sweet. It's not a real really nice though. It's definitely as good as brown flake. So if you like brown flake, you will definitely like this. What I like about this is you don't have to rub it out. The same thing with the BK Flake. I would personally say that they seem to be companion blends. One has the Kentucky and the other doesn't. But they have the same sort of presentation in the tin. This is lovely. Very lovely. I let it dry for quite a bit too. I didn't almost kind of maybe I shouldn't have let it. I mean, it was dry. I should have probably. I shouldn't. I probably shouldn't have let it dry that quickly or that much. But it's smoking good nonetheless. Like it didn't need that as much drying time as I gave it. I was just doing some stuff around the house and it slipped my mind. Or it didn't slip my mind. I was just doing stuff and I didn't finish. And by the time I was done messing around, it was pretty dry. Seems really well behaved though. Really smooth. Mm. Pure tobacco flavor. Um, I don't sense any sort of casing or top note on this. This is like pure raw tobacco flavor. I've actually noticed that the BK Flake, the Bridge Old Brown Flake, and the Club Mixture, I don't think any of those had a topping. Maybe the Club Mixture technically because it has the Cavendish in it. I don't know if their Cavendish has a topping, European or English style Cavendish, but I think they're almost like the HH line where they're just really really natural pipe tobaccos. They're not doing a whole lot to process the tobacco. I may very well prefer this to old brown or to regular brown flake. I like the look of it a little better. There was a little bit. It seemed like there was a few more brights in there. Um, and I'm getting it. It may be slightly sweeter. I'm gonna have to smoke some brown flake here shortly to compare. But in all these, the old brown flake and the brown flake really, really, really remind me of full Virginia flake. Like they are equivalents. Um, Maybe not brand new because Germains tend to have age. They're pre-aged. So a 2 year old tin of full Virginia flake is like a brand new tin of brown flake to me anyway, and they have very similar tastes, very very similar sweet grassy Virginia flavors. Mm. Got a nice room note for a Virginia smoker. That smells good to me. That kind of a sweet Virginia smell in the air. And for you Virginia guys, this is the bomb. This is going to be a hit. I'm almost positive that this is going to be received really, really, really well in the pipe tobacco community because from what I'm getting, it's just got a really nice natural tobacco flavor to it. Um, just not a Virginia that you come across every day. Not a Virginia blend anyway. Mm. There's some reds. There's some brights. There's some darker, a little bit darker Virginias in there too. But Very delicious. Anyway, I'm going to smoke this down and come back when I'm just about finished. Back here, guys, down to the last quarter of this bowl of Bridge Old Brown Flake. And I must say, quite a lovely smoke, guys. Quite a lovely smoke indeed. Just a rock solid bang on Virginia. More of a, I mean, it's brown flake. You know, it's like almost like 17 or almost like a full Virginia flake, aged full Virginia flake. It's grassy. It's got this bright sweetness to it. It's not a deep fermented fruit sweetness. It's more of like a bright, sharp sweetness. Um, got a tanginess to it. I assume that tanginess must be from the reds, the red Virginias that I spotted in there. And then that sweet element must be from the brights. That's kind of the breakdown I'm thinking of. Not too bad at all. I would definitely buy this again. I would recommend it to anybody who likes Virginias or is interested in getting into Virginias. Got a good little nick hit. Might want to smoke it on a. You don't want to smoke it on an empty stomach, I would say. Um, for sure. I mean, it's not too bad. It's just a little uncomfortable if you got an empty stomach. Because I started smoking it on an empty stomach, and it just got a little uncomfortable. And usually I can finish a bowl, but I had a couple of biscuits left over from earlier, so I just wolfed down a couple biscuits and then drank a glass of milk and continued. And no problems now, but like halfway through, I was getting, little nickups, or I guess you'd call it. Really, really, really nice tobacco, though. I think I prefer it to the brown flake. Um, I'm gonna have to smoke some more brown flake here shortly, and I'm gonna have to try one of the American tins because I've only smoked the European tins, and I don't know. From I've heard there's a difference, so I'd like to try one of the American brown flake tins and compare it to this. Just a rock solid Virginia. I mean, and it's got some complexity too. It's not a one trick pony at all. Gets a little tangier towards the end. I mean, this is how Virginias are supposed to be, to my mind. Um, Natural Virginias, unadulterated Virginias, Virginias that they haven't, added additives to. Now, don't get me wrong; those have their place too. Stonehaven, Rich Dark Flake, excellent tobaccos, although they do have the addition of burley, but there's top notes to it, and there are flavors that are added that do accentuate the tobacco flavors of the Virginias and the burleys. But this and brown flake, um, they don't need any of that, and they're done that way specifically. There's a reason why they have unadulterated Virginias and Virginias with toppings, because they both have their places and their situations. Sometimes I like a Virginia with more sweetness, like a Stonehaven. Sometimes I like a Virginia with more of a hay, more of a barnyard flavor, more of an earthiness to it. And that's kind of what this old brown flake is, more of an earthy Virginia. I wasn't getting, I haven't gotten any citrus notes really. Maybe slightly, just a slight citrus note to it. But it's more tangy, bread-like. Smooth as all get out. And it kind of similar to club mixture, but it's got a rounder flavor. It's got more depth. The club mixture was a little drier because of the Cavendish. I feel like it had more of a dry flavor to it. Where this one has a bit of sweetness. A bit more sweetness. And it gets better as you get down to the bottom of the bowl. It progresses. I'm just down to the last, maybe less than the last quarter. And it's really just been a wonderful smoke. Wonderful smoke. It will be in my rotation. It will be in my rotation until I don't have any more, probably. You just can't go wrong with a Germain's blend. It doesn't matter. I mean, really, you just can't go wrong. And they're not the only ones like that. There's a lot of companies that are like, yep, that's it. That's it for that bowl. Smoked it right down to nothing, guys. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the review as much as I enjoyed making the review. And hope you guys had a good weekend. And until next time, Treetop Piper, over and out.